Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Friday, the 1st of April, 2022. I'm Michael Thompson. Every afternoon, Australia's most popular business podcast brings you the 5 news items you need to know about, so let's jump into it. Story number 1 is the markets. The S&P ASX 200 finished ever so slightly down today, dropping by just 0.1% to close at 7,494 points. But we had a pretty good first half of the week, which means the index is up nearly 1.2% over the last 5 days. That's 3 weeks in a row of rises. The miners and energy stocks did well. In fact, the top 5 performers today were all miners, including some of the rare earths and critical minerals companies we talked about this morning. The best performer, Allkem, said market conditions were good for lithium and the sector jumped from there. BHP, Rio Tinto and Fortescue all closed up as well. Of the big 4 banks, NAB again was the only one to rise. Tech stocks didn't do so well, with Block down 2.5%. Story number 2, another day and plenty more news out of the Star Entertainment Group. Star Entertainment Chair John O'Neill has added the role of CEO to his duties following the resignation earlier this week of Matt Bakir. Mr. Bakir stepped down in the midst of an inquiry into whether the group is fit to operate a casino in New South Wales. Today, the inquiry heard one Chinese billionaire bought $1.7 billion worth of chips at Sydney Star Casino over 5 years to 2018, but the senior compliance manager at the Star didn't investigate where the money came from. The inquiry also heard another Chinese billionaire put $2.72 billion through the casino over 15 years. It's alleged $100 million of that was sourced through China UnionPay debit cards, the use of which has been examined very closely at the inquiry. Just back to Chair John O'Neill briefly, he's going to have his work cut out for him, really, as the inquiry continues to produce some pretty incredible allegations about the group. He is going to pick up an extra $1.5 million for the additional role, though, taking his total remuneration to more than $2 million a year. Story number 3, big move today in the Australian telco space. Australian Tower Network, owned by Australian Super and Singtel, is buying domestic mobile telecommunications towers company Axicom from Macquarie Asset Management. That's quite a mouthful. ATN won an auction to take control of Axicom's roughly 2,000 telco towers, taking its total towers to around 4,000 and making it Australia's second biggest telco tower owner after the Telstra Future Fund Consortium. The deal is valued around $3.5 billion. Telcos, especially the smaller and mid-sized ones, don't really want to be in the tower business. They're expensive to build, expensive to maintain. Instead, they'd rather rent and leave the day-to-day running of the towers to others. The deal represents a pretty handy $1.5 billion windfall for Macquarie and their partner investors. They paid $2 billion for the towers back in 2015. Story number 4, some good news out of the RBA today. Michelle Bullock appointed as Deputy Governor, replacing the outgoing Guy Debelle, who's off to Fortescue Future Industries. Michelle Bullock's the first woman to be appointed Deputy Governor in the 62-year history of the RBA. She's been at the Reserve since 1985, most recently as an assistant governor. Her appointment has been welcomed by politicians on both sides. What a time, though, to be moving into the deputy role. The Reserve Bank is firmly in the spotlight at the moment, with pressure mounting for rates to rise in coming months. We wish her all the best. Story number 5, something a little bit lighter for your Friday afternoon. Isn't it great to see some companies and organisations that still have a sense of humour when it comes to April Fool's Day? Vegemite and Arnott's announced Vegemite-flavoured Tim Tams today. The CSIRO, not normally known for comedy, declared the discovery of a new type of fungus called Ricolius roleus that creates music by pushing air through its gills. Amazon Prime revealed a bunch of new Australian TV series, including The Real Parking Inspectors of Inner Sydney, Swooping Places, about an angry magpie, and Bin Bandits, which is a musical about the humble ibis. There's a water slide into the Yarra, crocodiles off the New South Wales Central Coast, and an elite squad of koalas and other animals recruited into the Queensland Police. All good fun. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 1st of April, 2022. Join me and Adam Lang tomorrow morning for the Saturday edition of Fear and Greed, when we'll go head-to-head with our favourite stories from the week, and a special guest judge is going to help us pick a winner. Then on Sunday, Sean Aylmer's back just in time for Safe Word. I'm Michael Thompson. Enjoy your evening.